Hello, this is Alex LaBelle doing my entrepreneurial self-assessment. I have my script right beside me, and I will send that in alongside my full-side recording. This is just my synopsis that I will be using for grading. To start off, we'll stick with my motivations. I got a 55 out of 62, which is not as good as most entrepreneurs, it says. Personally, I think this is kind of explanatory. I don't always have the same motivation as a lot of entrepreneurs, where I feel like everyone says that an entrepreneur is out there to make money. Yeah, I'm the same way. I am also to make money. I don't disagree. But there's other things I feel like motivate my reasoning for becoming an entrepreneur. Things such as like success, social factors, my idea on how I'd like to run it. Before in class, we said that being an entrepreneur is to make money, and that you don't always have to have an original idea. Well, personally, I'd like to be an entrepreneur that does. I'd like to come up with my own company based off of something that I truly thought of. That's where I really feel coming up with a new idea just might be practical to me, and why I like the idea of entrepreneurship. That's something I strive for. Not to say that it's what everybody else does, but I think that's why it was indicative of the score. Another one was a need for achievement. I got 13 out of 17. I think this, again, kind of goes back to the statement of what is an achievement, what does it mean to achieve. If making money is the goal, then yeah, maybe it would be a little bit behind in terms of how much I'm making, but like that doesn't mean that the process of making my business and making it successful isn't going to be practical or isn't going to be successful. I'm in computer science, as you know, and many successes are actually public knowledge. They're not anything privatized. They're very broad scoping, and then you take that niche because your expertise in it, and then you make that into your business. That's just very commonly how it works. Another one was lure of power. I think I am excited to have my own sway on my own business, say so. Like 15 out of 17 isn't too bad. It sounds about right. I like being my own boss, and I think everybody else feels the same way. I mean, I grew up in Canada. It's pretty typical to like to be able to be free and do your own things. I think that's kind of why that score was there. Um, the other one was freedom. Like I was saying, I got 13 out of 12, which is kind of a little higher, but I think it's the same reason that just because I was in Canada, I'm very used to that idea of freedom, that without constraints, my own business, my own ideas, what I want to do. The same idea with making money, kind of. You could see that even in how I speak. Like, I find some other cultures are like, money is the number one success. Well, meanwhile, maybe I'm looking for a little bit different a route. Money is, yes, practical, but sometimes there's other things that go beyond that. Determination. I didn't like this one as much. 11 out of 14. I don't think that's very indicative, and from a scientific standpoint, I brought the questioning of whether or not the validity of the score was correct. 11 out of 14 would infer that I'm a little bit lower in terms of determination, but I feel I'm more determined than anyone else. Dare I say. But just in the sense of what it means to be an entrepreneur, I feel like I'd match equal energy, if not more, for working at something, continuing to do it. Maybe it wouldn't work the first time, but if I have to go time and time and time again, it's definitely a life goal, and I feel like that's just a way of life that I should be seeing in the score, but it just doesn't. Which is, hey, to learn something from it, maybe that just means I need to keep working and keep going. Contradictory, though, self-confidence is at 15, and the average score is 13. I feel like that should have been higher. Meanwhile, mine was, but my determination score is a little lower, so I guess maybe that's some false confidence, but hey, fake it till you make it, and it seems to be pretty indicative of where I'm at. I think, like, I don't want to be too egotistical, and I think you ride a very, very, very thin line of humble and maybe not so humble, maybe a little bit more aggressive or arrogant. I hope I'm not coming off as that, but that's definitely something I would be concerned of in my entrepreneurial life. And then finally, creativity. Average score is 21. I got 19. Sounds about right. I think being creative is one of the most important things about being an entrepreneur. You have to have creative ideas. You got to have ways of making business work. There's just creativity drives the market. Even if you were in the lowest, if you were in the lowest of lows and you could still make a creative idea, you can sometimes always see money be made off that. Finally, I'll do a belief in ability. I got 21 out of 20. I feel like, yeah, I'm pretty confident in my abilities. I could always pick up more if I ever needed, in terms of if, say, there was ever a prerequisite to a certain business. But overall, I feel very confident. I feel like this showed me a lot in terms of what I need to do, what I should become, and how I can become it, how I compare to the other entrepreneurs. So in that sense, I really enjoyed it. However, I would say that there is times when there is differences. Like everyone's their own person. I think that's shown in the scores, and I think two people can end up with the same score, but completely different in their entrepreneurial style. I don't think it's a be all end all, but I think it's very interesting and it's very nice, practical testing. Beyond that, I have my full time video too, where I go over every single one of the scores. I just wanted to go over the quick ones, the important ones in this. So thank you very much. This is Alex LaBelle, and I'll see you again.